12th, 1927, Jane Youngwood reporting for the Newark Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the Graphic.
On the strange case of the Radium Girls,
Who claim they were poisoned at the hands of their employer.
who now seek their day in court.
$250,000. That is the price tag on their suffering.
$250,000.
Ask me, it's all a sham.
What do you mean? Those girls are very sick.
Sick of working, sure.
Doctors say the Radium Girls have only 1 year to live.
1 year to live and $250,000 to spend. What would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do to ease your last suffering days on Earth? What would you do with $250,000?
Well, I'd buy a wardrobe like Irene Castle's.
I'd give it to charity.
And then I'd fly first class all the way around the world.
I'd play the stock market.
And I would buy my wife a fur coat and a diamond ring the size of New Hampshire.
I'd use it to pay my medical bills and the mortgage on our house, the one my father took out to pay for my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home,
Suffering bravely through this entire ordeal
struggling valiantly to keep up her flagging
for
spirits.
the sake of her family and her friends.
It hurts to smile, but I try to smile. I know if I don't smile, I'll go crazy.
Tell us, Miss Fryer, how does it feel knowing you have such little time left?
I try not to think about it.
But it must get to you sometimes.
Knowing what you've been through.
And the company is getting fat off your labor.
And all they have to say about it is...
No comment.
Don't you want to just punch somebody?
Oh no. It wouldn't do no good. I'd rather just think about how it's gonna be when justice prevails. Then I can do something nice for the folks. Maybe send them on a trip. They never did have no honeymoon.
What a fine example of womanhood. We can only aspire to bear a cross in life as nobly as this young girl.
Mr. Barry, I must object to this kind of histrionics.
I had nothing to do with that, Mr. Markley.
I've been in this game a long time, Mr. Barry. When I see a story like this, you move up the wires. I'm not so naive as to believe that plaintiff's attorney has something to do with it.
What's your proposal, Mr. Markley?
$1,500 to each girl.
$1,500.
That's not even a year's wages.
I think it's very generous, considering your case won't survive the statute of limitations.
This is a case in equity, sir. Chancery Court will come to a different
The
conclusion.
Chancery Court can rewrite the law, and the law is clear. 2 years from the date of injury. Your client is out of time.
2 years from the date the cause of injury is discovered.
Very creative, Mr. Barry. Very clever. I admire your imagination. You've got a long way to go before you can convince a judge.
And in the meantime, Mr. Markley, the press will continue to take a great interest in this story and the company's complete indifference towards its
No
workers.
doubt this will be great press for Consumers League. And you accuse us of exploiting these girls?
You're the one who's hiding behind the statute of limitations.
Hiding this way?
You know very well the law never anticipated a situation like this. These girls were dying years before anyone knew the cause.
For anyone? Does that include the U.S. Radium Corporation as well? When, or I say if, this case goes to trial, I only hope that's your opening argument. You'll have made our defense. See you in the hearing.
The arrogance of that man.
Tell me again the purpose of these articles.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry. It's the engine of reform.
You are antagonizing the company.
And the strategy's working.
How does it help the girls to see in a dozen different newspapers that they have so little time?
Mr. Barry, surely you can see. The U.S. Radium Corporation cares nothing about the girls it has poisoned. But the average housewife in Orange does. And so do millions of women across the country. These women shop. They buy watches. Markley can be as smug as he likes, but the Consumers League campaign will lead to only one outcome, and he knows it. That's why he is here today.
I don't know if you're right, Miss White.
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry. Just wait and see.
Dear Miss Shaw, I read of your sad story in the Boston Globe and am so sorry for your plight. It seems in this time of rapid advancement, the well-being of the average worker is overlooked. I would like to share with you girls the secret to my own good health at the age of 92. It is called Christian Science.
Dear Mrs. Fryer, I read of your woeful situation in the Atlanta Constitution, but I'm prepared to offer you a solution. Venicine. It's a wonder tonic made from all natural ingredients. Venicine will restore your health and vitality. We are prepared to offer you a lifetime supply of Venicine in exchange for the exclusive rights to use your photos in our advertisements.
Dear girl, I read about you in the Billings Gazette. I run 100 head of cattle up here. I do pretty well by myself, but I've always longed for a companion, and I'm well equipped to offer you a comfortable home in your final hours. A girl like you has suffered so much. Don't you think you deserve a few fleeting hours of happiness? Sincerely, your admirer, Leonard F. Watkins. P.S. Enclosed is my picture.
This man actually sent a picture.
You all right, Catherine?
Bleeding again.
Shall I get the nurse?
I did this before. No, stop.
Maybe we should go.
No, don't go.
Don't you need to sleep?
Who can sleep? I never sleep.
Well, you'll sleep tomorrow.
Yeah. Might not wake up.
Of course, you'll wake up.
Not if it don't go well. Sometimes you don't come out of it so good. My mother's cousin went into the hospital for her appendix and she didn't come home again.
Well, you just can't think that way. That's all. Look at this Catherine. Miss Wiley said folks would be on her side, and she sure was right.
Here's one from California.
What if we don't win?
Of course we'll win.
But what if we don't? My father will lose his house. We'll be on the street. You'll be on the street too. Your father must owe thousands. And you and Tom, you won't never get married. How can you stand it, Grace? How can Tom stand it? Don't you ever wonder? I will never hear him complain.
Catherine! As soon as the judge hears our testimony, he's gonna rule for us. All they gotta do is take one look at us. It'll be over in a day.
Think so?
Sure. When they see what kind of shape we're in, it'd be awful hard to ignore, don't you think?
That'll be something then, won't it? To see the look on Mr. Reader's face when we get up on the stand.
No. You want to look at some more letters?
You have no chocolate. So I had something on instead.
Took you long enough?
Get on me. I had 6 people stop me on the way over here. All of them reporters and all of them asking after you.
Waiting for me to die.
No one is waiting for you to die.
It's true. One of the reporters called my mother, asking if I had died. When she said no, he sounded disappointed.
Try a little of this. You'll feel better.
Evening, girls. How about a picture?
For the love of Mike, what are you doing?
We need some pictures for the graphics exclusive on the girls.
Exclusive? What exclusive?
Oh, $5,000. That's what I'm talking about. What do you say, Grace? Think you could use $5,000?
I don't understand.
Perhaps you've heard of Bernard McFadden,
Faith.
herbalist. Mr. Kreider, herbalist. Bernard McFadden's patented herbal therapy is just the thing to get these girls back on their feet. Oh, and the graphic will pay for it. All we ask is the exclusive rights to your story from here on out. See for yourself.
You want to pay us to see Bernard McFadden?
Easy money, huh?
Let me see.
You're serious, Grace.
The graphic always does its business on the up and up.
No.
Grace, how much? Does your father own that house again?
I don't know exactly.
And that last hospital bill? It's gotta be a couple hundred at least.
At least.
Maybe we should think about this.
And all we do is talk
To this herbalist fella.
Of course, we'll have to get our money's worth. A regular series of features with pictures, following the course of your treatment, your illness, your recovery, or otherwise, depending on how it goes.
And then you print whatever you want.
Maybe we add some color. Everybody adds color.
Don't sound so bad.
Maybe we should talk to Miss Wiley about it. Miss Wiley? What's it to her? You're the ones with bills to pay.
Wouldn't it be right to do something like this? Without talking to Miss Wiley.
You're a big girl, Grace. Can't you make your own decisions?
Of course, I can make my own decisions.
You'd take it if it was from the company.
The company owes us a lot more than that.
If you ever see it.
He's right, you know. Why give your story away when people are crazy to read it? Believe me, you girls could cash in big. Like the day we ran the feature, sold out every copy in every newsstand. Anybody can sympathize with the plight of some poor sick girl facing certain death with no hope of fulfillment in motherhood.
I'd like you to go now. My friend is tired. She needs her rest.
Grace. At least think about it.
Sure. Think it over. I get it. You're worried about what people will say. But hey, you gotta look out for your own interests here. There's no reason you shouldn't get something out of all this. Look out for number one. That's the way. Everybody else is out to get what they can. For sure. Why should you sit back and keep your nose clean while everybody else is up to their elbows in it?
Members of the board, I have treated a number of the girls that claimed they got sick working at your plant. One of them, a girl's jaw had rotted so bad that I removed it just by lifting the bone out of her mouth, as you can see.
That's all right, Dr. Neff. You can put that away.
Maybe you'd rather look at it on X-ray. It's quite an expensive trace to keep, case to treat. The girl died, family never paid, never to get no compensation.
I sympathize, Dr. Neff. But what has that to do with us?
Here it is straight. There's going to be a lot more girls claiming they got sick working at your plant. So maybe we could do some business. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, that sort of thing.
I'm not following you.
Suppose you gave me a list of all the girls that work at your plant. I could see to it that there'd be no more lawsuits.
You think you could cure them?
Couldn't put out a cure, no. But I could scratch your back, like you could scratch mine.
How so, Dr. Neff?
I could examine them for rating necrosis, then give them a favorable diagnosis for you. Pyelia, let's say. Quite a few cases will die a natural death anyways, and the rest we can put off until the statute of limitations kicks in and it's too late to sue.
You'll persuade them they've got a case against the company.
Exactly. And if it does go to court, I can testify for you. That's a strong testimony coming from the doctor that treated him.
And what makes you so sure these girls would come to you?
The company quick if I don't charge enough.
Because we'd be paying you.
Exactly. Me and you understand each other, Mr. Reader.
What exactly are you asking for, Dr. Neff?
I need $10,000 for my troubles so far, and $2 for each girl that I agree to treat from here on out, plus expenses for the x-rays. I'm suggesting a gentleman's agreement here, best off if it's not in writing.
No!
All right, we will put it in writing.
We'll do nothing of the kind. Your proposal is immoral, and we will have nothing to do with it.
Moral? You're a fine one to be talking about morals.
Mr. Lee?
When you get your own hired guns ready to testify?
Those are expert witnesses.
Expert witnesses? Paid lackeys is more like it. And none of them's got the dirt like I got. So if you're smart, you'll play ball with me. I know plenty of other people that's interested in that information.
You're threatening me.
No. Just a business proposition, Mr. Reader. Looking after my interests, same way you look after yours.
Mr. Lee, see Dr. Neff to the door.
All right. If you don't want to play ball, it's fine. When this all shakes out, it won't be me holding the short end of the stick.
Board members, I want you all to make statements on what happened this morning. We'll send them to the U.S. Dental Society. Then Dr. Neff will see who's playing ball and who isn't.
Next inductee.
Perhaps we shouldn't be so quick to dismiss Neff's proposal.
What do you mean?
We're in a very bad situation here, Mr. Reader.
That's true. Mr. Lee says you're having trouble getting girls to work here.
Yes, and we've lost contracts because of it.
It's going to get worse.
The papers are full of stories about those girls.
Making them out to be saints.
And what defense can we put out?
Except to say we'll try our case in court.
And in the court of public opinion, we've already lost.
Perhaps we should reconsider. I mean, it's only going to hurt to have a testimony from the dentist who treated those girls.
Neff could be valuable. We should retain him.
Retain him as what? An extortionist?
As an expert.
Like Dr. Flynn.
Dr. Flynn is a highly respected professor at Columbia University. Neff is a neighborhood dentist.
But Dr. Flynn treated some of the girls, didn't he?
He didn't treat them. He consulted with them.
He dispensed medical advice, Arthur.
Not medical advice. An expert's opinion. A scientific opinion.
How about this? We retain Neff, but we don't put him on the stand. We just keep him from testifying for the women.
That's the most important thing.
I agree. It's the most important thing.
Would you agree to something like that, Mr. Reader?
Mr. Reader.
Mr. Reader.
Edward! We can't possibly do this. We can't get into bed with a man like Neff.
Arthur's right, we shouldn't do business with Neff. He could hurt us. We have to take steps. Neff has already given us everything we need. New evidence, gentlemen. This is grounds for postponement.
Months to study an x-ray. It's outrageous. And the girls. Did you see the girls? Their eyes are like saucers looking at you. I'm terrified.
Mr. Barry!
We're going to hold out 3 more months. Catherine Schwab could barely make it into the courtroom today. Grace. She's trying so hard not to cry. Of course, I had all the answers. Go home, girls. Get some rest. That's the best I can do. Get some rest.
You're doing wonderfully, Mr. Barry. It's a difficult case.
I don't understand people like Margaret. Weird. How do they play this kind of game with those poor girls sitting right there? I think the company would be eager to take care of this. With the kind of publicity this has gotten, but they seem to enjoy the support of it.
Maybe this will help. I received a letter.
Get away with it. Hold.
Mr. Barry.
What's this?
It's from Catherine Drinker. Mrs. Cecil Drinker of Harvard. She's an industrial hygienist also. She worked with Dr. Drinker on the study of the radium plant.
Very interesting, Miss Wiley. You've already seen that document.
You haven't seen the whole thing. Please. This is the complete report. I received it this morning. Mrs. Drinker has been following our study very closely in the papers and was particularly disturbed to read the article in which Mr. Lee claims that her study clears the company.
Who just doctored the report? He doctored the report.
Apparently he pulled out one page listing out the blood conditions of all the patients and passed it off as the whole thing. It doesn't look so bad by itself, but in context, it's a somewhat different picture. Yes, it should impress the judge.
Judge Miss Wiley, I am not going to wait 3 months to make use of this. I want you to pull that contact off at the New York World. The reader won't let us present our evidence at the courtroom, and you can read about it in the newspaper.
January 12th, 1928. Jane Youngwood reporting for the Newark Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the Graphic.
Radium girls go to court today.
Radiant girls knock on the doors of justice. Will they be heard?
These poor injured girls face pain,
Disfigurement,
ruin,
and death. And as the clock ticks away the precious moments,
A hearing begins in Chancery Court,
where the U.S. Radium Corporation demands a postponement,
while plaintiff's attorney Raymond Berry makes a shocking disclosure,
showing that the company lied to the Department of Labor,
showing that it distorted the results of a Harvard study,
concealing the ill effects of its product.
Read all about it in the Ledger.
Read it in the Graphic. We care because you care.
Very bad.
Didn't read it.
I make a point not to these days.
Only other people would do the same. Mrs. Mitchell from across the street. She walked right past me this morning, didn't say a word to me. I know she saw me. And the women at the market with the greengrocer, the way they glance at each other. And at the club, Mrs. Middleton with the other ladies. The whispers.
Why don't you put that away? Read the journal. I saw it here the other day. Why don't you read that?
At the club today, someone actually had the nerve to say to me, "Is it true? Is it true?" she said. "Did your husband lie to the Department of Labor?" I said, "Mrs. Cowles, if you think it is true, then why would you speak to me at all? Because I certainly would not associate myself with a woman whose husband did such things."
Why do you go there then? If that's the way people
I
are.
remember for you.
What do you want me to say, Diane? I knew we were poisoning people, but we didn't want to do anything about it because we were making too much money. Is that what you want me to
I
say?
certainly don't want you to say such a thing.
Even if it were true. More especially if it were true.
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me to think, Arthur?
God's sake, Diane! Don't you see what's happening? It's Von Sashaki. He's behind all of this. He's jealous of our success. He's feeding information to the Consumers League so they can railroad us. Bunch of radical women, do-gooders. Half of them are Reds, probably. Socialists. That's what they are. Same thing as that club you belong to.
What?
You women think you can go around and fix the world's problems
I
before
can't.
your husbands go out
I'm
and make a living. You're going to quit that club. And stop talking to that idiot, Mrs.
You're not
Middleton. She doesn't know anything.
any sense.
None of those women know anything. You don't know anything!
Did you lie to the Department of Labor?
What?
Did you lie?
Lied. Just didn't agree with Drinker's results.
Arthur,
I have a fiduciary duty to the company.
I can't listen to this.
Diane, I have documents, I have articles, people with tumors the size of baseball, radiant
I'm
therapy.
tired. I'm going to bed.
Dad, we save lives, we make lives better. Mild radiant therapy invigorates. You don't really think I'm a liar. I am? You can't really believe I would set out to poison people. Can you? Diane,
No.
do you really think I would ever do anything to hurt you? Or to hurt Harriet?
Certainly not.
Then
13 girls have died, Arthur.
people die every day. The newspapers are full of death notices. Young, old, infants,
But they
children.
worked for you.
Also worked other places. I have a report from Columbia University, an expert in industrial hygiene, just like Drinker, who says there is no connection between our plant and the illnesses. Do you like to see that report?
Then what? What could the cause be?
I don't know! I really don't know. I've done everything I could to find out. No one knows. Please, say you believe me. If you don't believe me, then there's no point to any of this.
Arnie.
You remember the day I told my father I wasn't going into the ministry? What you said to me that day?
You can do as much good in a boardroom as you can in a church.
I remember.
You think I could forget?
I was such a scared kid. He was an icon. If it weren't for you, I don't think I could have stood up to him.
Of course you would have, Arnie. I know you would have.
And ever since then, he's been looking for signs that my soul is lost. You don't think that, do you? That my soul is lost?
You're a good man, Artie.
We save lives, Diane.
You save lives.
It's all for you. You know that, don't you? Everything I do, it always has been.
I know.
Please don't let that be in with the reporter. Don't answer it.
Arthur!
Is that Mr. Lee?
Charlie, for God's sakes!
I just got off the phone with someone from the Ledger.
This couldn't wait until morning.
I'm sorry, good evening.
Mr. Lee?
It's Dr. Lee.
Dan?
He's dead, Arthur.
What?
He died this morning.
That isn't possible, Charlie. I just saw him last week.
They were just here. For cards, a week ago, they were just here.
Martlin's already done the autopsy. It says it was a severe anemia.
He's blaming the radio.
The Ledger is planning on putting it on page 1 tomorrow. I told them we'd issue our statement by 8 o'clock, that way they could run it for tomorrow.
What are the services?
Sorry?
The services.
I don't know.
We'll send flowers. Diane?
Of course. I'll call Louise.
Yes, that's right. Call Louise.
I should go see her right now. I should go see Louise.
I wouldn't do that.
Why ever not?
She's planning to sue.
Louise?
The reporter told me everything. She's filing a wrongful death action. I've